Okay, all right. We are here, we are live. Talk about imperfect action. This is what feels juicy and what feels alive in my system during these times. I have been called by Divine to show up on YouTube and to create a more authentic dialogue and pathway for communication with awakened boss ladies, with masculine leaders that are looking to thrive via emotional intelligence and by expanding their feminine skills. Those of you that don't know me, I am Patty Ferreira. I'm an intuitive success catalyst. And what that means is that I've been around long enough to know that success is not only about the masculine skills and intelligence, and it's not only about the feminine, more emotional intelligence. It's about being able to harmonize and blend the two and have the ability to create a balance that accents your power, right? It just allows you to create a blend within strategic smarts, mindset development and openness, and emotional intelligence, energetic regulation. It's those three things that make a difference in our trajectory, in how we show up in the world, and the success that we achieve with satisfaction, because those are the two pieces that together create joy and a life that has everything that we need. So, today I want to talk about leadership and in a very special context. For a very long time during my time in corporate America, I did a lot of leadership training and I went to a lot of leadership conventions and workshops. And there was a lot of investment in myself as a resource for corporate, where I was guided towards leadership. And a lot of what that meant was, how I showed up in a room, how I created a presentation, how I led my team, how I led a negotiation, how I led a difficult situation. And it was always about, my show up in situations that were very particular to the corporate landscape. And it felt very kind of masky and faking it till I make it. It felt very like a switch that I would have to turn on in order to perform, right? It didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel authentic. It felt like tools that I would just bring to the table in the moments of need. So there was a lot of uncertainty, right? And a lot of holes in my confidence until I started to discover self leadership, right? And that's the inner work. That's the foundation that builds the circuitry that can hold the pillars of authenticity and transparent and multidimensional leadership. And that's what I want to talk about today. Self leadership. I like to tell people it's about you going first, and you going first in several aspects, like you going first in doing your own work, cleaning up what no longer serves you, getting awareness around your blind spots, you going first around, shadow work and understanding your triggers and having, truth telling conversations with yourself around what is not really serving you, what's keeping you small. There's so many versions of us that are alive and awake within us, or maybe not so awake, but alive and acting in a subconscious or unconscious way. So the self leadership part is about doing the work to harmonize those pieces. And that's the part that I'm most excited about because that is what's sustainable. That is what no one can take away from you. And that is the secret ingredient to success with satisfaction. It's the secret ingredient to moving through life with clarity, confidence, and courage, especially during these times where there's so much uncertainty. And during times when it could be seen, you could find yourself in situations that are unpredictable. Yeah, during these times where it's about being resourceful and agile and believing that you can figure things out and having a level of self trust that just helps you show up in that confidence, even though you're not sure about the scenario or the situation or the cast of characters or the players, and just being able to come in from a place of leading yourself. Another way in which I look at self leadership is like, the peanut gallery. Yeah. I talk about all the versions of myself that have so many gifts and so many attributes, and allowing myself to discern which version of myself is going to be in the highest good for the occasion, in the highest good for the outcome that I'm seeking. And that creates leadership, right? There's a moment where my little girl, the joy, the peace, the curiosity, right? The genuine like interest that that little girl brings and creativity that little girl brings to a project is going to be in the highest good of that moment, when we're ideating, when we're problem solving, when we're actively listening and creating innovation. So it's my job to understand that and lead myself with acceptance and awareness around the gifts that that version of me can offer, and allow her to get into the driver's seat at that moment and run the show and be okay with that. There are moments where it's more about my wisdom and my experience, and that's when I bring in the wise woman, and knowing that if I bring the wise woman in to edit and to just kind of clean up a moment of chaos, it may be too soon, right? These are all the ways in which self leadership matters, and in which we can model self leadership in a very multi-dimensional way. So, my invitation today is to ask yourself, what is my flavor of self leadership? How do I show up in self leadership? Is it more about doing my inner work? Is it more about discernment, and allocating the right versions of me? Is it more about modeling and doing things first? Is it more about showing up first, right? Vulnerable, authentic, transparent. There's so many ways in which self leadership helps you and serves you. So, really honing this skill is the invitation. I'd love to make this a dialogue, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts around this version of self leadership, which is the root of leadership in this new world and this new paradigm and this rebirth that we're headed to. So, sending you lots of love, hoping that you are forever awakened and you are remembering your power. Deep bow.